All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, in recent years, the American League East has been the premier and toughest division in Major League Baseball. And for that, the proof has been in the pudding. Last year, four teams from the AL East won at least 91 games, with the Toronto Blue Jays falling one game short of making the postseason. And as things were expected to be tight once again this year in the AL East, it's the Yankees that have been setting the pace for this division here in the first half of this season. With a record of 56 and 20, the Yankees are not only in first place in the AL East, but they also have the best record in Major League Baseball. And in doing so, the Yankees have put some distance between themselves and the other teams in this division. As the second place Boston Red Sox are 13 games back of the Yankees. The Toronto Blue Jays are in third and they're 13 and a half back. And then you have the Tampa Bay Rays, who won this division last year by winning 100 games. They're currently in fourth place and they're a full 15 games behind New York. Now, the Yankees are taking care of their business, obviously, but they're also living up to their nickname as the Bronx Bombers. As you're talking about 126 home runs so far, are leading the way in the American League. And with pending free agency coming for outfielder Aaron Judge, I expected him to have a big year, and he is not disappointed. So far, you're talking about Judge is hitting 290 with 29 home runs and 59 runs batted in, as he's on pace to hit at least 50 home runs this season. Now, Judge's tag team partner in the middle of that lineup, I'm not talking about Giancarlo Stanton. He has 19 home runs so far and 52 runs batted in, and he's on pace to hit at least 35 home runs this season. You think about the Yankees pitching, it's not just about Garrett Cole. Nestor Cortez has really stepped up and made a name for himself so far this year. He's 6-3 with an ERA of 2.51. And speaking of the aforementioned Cole, he's 6-2 with an ERA of 2.99. Overall, the Yankees pitching has been dominant as their 2.93 team ERA is tops currently in the American League. Overall, the Yankees are doing a solid job in regards to taking care of their business. And I say that because not only are they beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, also look at their record versus this division. And the Yankees right now, they are 26 and 12 versus the American League East this season. And that, has to account for plenty because you think about this division behind the Yankees. And right now, record wise, both the Red Sox and Blue Jays are good enough to be leading the American League Central. But of course, we're not talking about them in the same fashion due to the fact of what the Yankees have done so far. The Rays are also good enough to be a wild card team right now. And then let's not gloss over the Baltimore Orioles. Yes, Baltimore currently has a losing record. They're 35 and 42, but this is a huge step in a different direction for the Orioles in regards to where they've been in recent years. And three out of the last 4 years, we've seen Baltimore lose at least 100 games. Baltimore is on a much better pace this time around. The youngsters, it's starting to come together for them and for this team. It's just the fact that you look at the division that Baltimore has to face consistently in the American League East. 76 of their games will come against AL East foes this year. And with that said, for the Orioles, they're holding their own and things are looking up for this franchise, which is the first time in a long time that we've been able to actually say that. But overall, you think about the Red Sox and the way that the streak that they've been on recently and the hitting that they're getting with the likes of Rafael Devers, J.D. Martinez, Trevor Story, and Xander Bogaerts, just to name a few. You think about the Blue Jays with their bats, and of course, Vlad Jr. and George Springer leading the way there. The Rays are always going to do it with pitching. Shane McClanahan is once again in that mix as well. But it's just the fact that these teams are good. They're just not on the level right now of the Yankees and what they're doing. And I mean, for Aaron Boone, the Yankees manager, he's pushing all the right buttons. And it's just amazing that, these other teams in this division are good, but then there's good right now, and then there's Yankee good. And there's two different categories, obviously, for them. At this point of the season, you look at the comfortable working margin that the Yankees have. And with that said, that means it's going to put the emphasis on the wild card race for the rest of these teams because I don't see any of them catching the Yankees for the top spot in this division. The Yankees, they really came out like gangbusters to begin this season, and they have not taken their foot off of the throttle. And because of that, it's going to make life tough for these other teams to try to go out there and catch them for this divisional mark. So with that said, that means the battle for the wild card is on as we, wind down the first half of the season, and the second half will be starting soon. Obviously, the Jays, the Rays, and the Red Sox, they're going to have to focus on getting a wild card berth because there's no way that they're catching the Yankees. It's amazing when you think about it with what this division is about. So many different teams have won this division in recent years. But, you think about it, two of the biggest market teams in all of baseball, and the Red Sox and Yankees, they call this division home. The Rays have figured out how they can contend in this division. And of course, the young Jays, team that made the playoffs in 2020, was on the verge of making the playoffs last year. And I still say, had the Jays gotten in, they could have really done some damage the way that they were playing to finish up the regular season. And then, of course, the Baltimore Orioles. So you just look at this right now, the toughest division in baseball. The Yankees have set the tenor, so to speak, in this division. They're going to win this division. It's just a matter of who's going to finish 2, 3, or 4. So let's see how things play out for the remainder of the summer. I expect all three of these teams in the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays to be buyers at the trade deadline. And of course, the Yankees are definitely going to tweak their roster as well. So let's see how things work out. And then, of course, don't count out the Orioles the way that they're playing as far as being spoilers in this division, because I think Baltimore wants to try to find a way to finish on a positive note and get right back into the mix as far as being a contender in the American League East. No nights off in this division. It's the best in baseball, and the proof is definitely in the pudding. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.